Welcome, friends, to Syncretism. You're with Santos Bonacci, and I have Kate as special guest today. Kate, how are you?
Hey, good. How are you? And you got Tony and Cindy as special guests too. We're just going to have some fun tonight. Woohoo!
Good. Yep, I thought so. So your computer crashed then?
Yeah, perfect timing. And you know how lovely and stressed I get out when it's like people are counting on me, and here it is at like 10:02, and it's 5 minutes after before I can get the damn thing up and going again. So anyway, there you go. It's all good, and I hate Internet Explorer. I just wanted to get that out there. Microsoft, you suck, horse stick. Does that work? Works for me. I'm just in a very loving mood right now. It's just I'm really tired of seeing the little circles spinning and spinning and spinning, and I just want to put my foot through my little notebook. It's not like I have much here, you know. Anyway, just having some fun. How are you guys doing?
Great.
Doing good.
Oh, just having a field day here.
Okay.
All right. Is Tony here, or is he just going to be all quiet again tonight?
No, he's here.
Oh, there he is.
To the chaos.
Woo! Yeah, we got lots to talk about. Where do you guys want to start?
Well, you've got some stuff, so we'll get to that. I've got some star stuff. I've got a great little astrotheological story to tell. So that will also add to the 25th of December Christmas gift that we gave to the world, Kate. So being the last day of the year for me, and this is the sort of stuff I'm going to get into, what they call this in theology, this day is the day of circumcision. I wonder why. Just check your theological, liturgical calendars and you'll see. December 39th and January 1st, this is the day of circumcision. If you count 8 days back, well, that's the birthday of the sun. So, of course, in the Jewish and the ancient system, that was the time for circumcision, 8 days after the birth. So what we see is the birthday of the sun, the year gets circumcised, and a new year begins on January the 1st. That's what it's all about. It's all happening in the skies. So I'm going to go through some sacred dates that we can look out for from now on, the 1st of January, the day of circumcision, all the way to the 21st of March, because we're going to have some lengthening of sun's rays going on, and that will, as above, so below, that will affect exactly how the rays of consciousness in our minds are lengthening until the sun hits the Lamb of God that take away the sins of the world. Well, well, well. So we're going from the goat to the sheep. We're going from the goat to the ram, and this is the ride we're going to take. And we're going to check out the holy days, have a stop and check them out, because you'll find that they will correspond to shifts going on down below, and we're having massive shifts going on already, of course. But and I also want to explain how the 21st day of the moon cycle corresponds with January the 6th, which is the Epiphany Day, you see. And that's going to be a very important day in theology / astrology, because it's all the same thing. It's astrotheology. So I'll be doing that, but I'd love to get into your stuff first, Kate, because I want the listeners to appreciate how important this document is. And
yeah, no problem. Yeah, it's been a very interesting year, I guess. Well, it's been an interesting last 3 or 4 years, you know, given the awakenings. Yeah, I mean, and you and I, Santo, and Tony, and more recently Cindy. Well, there's so many of us that have, you know, coalesced onto the same things, and you know, we go back a ways here in the walk, and you know, the discovery. I mean, my whole feeling, as you know, from day one, had something to do with, and this goes back to like Eldon Warman stuff years and years ago, where the name or the corporate aspect was superimposed over the natural, and the legal stuff that you think is real is actually mimicking natural law. You just got to learn to see what it is, right? And one of those very important ones was exposed in that invocation of the cross, or the Clausula Rebus Sextantibus. For those that are like new to listening, and I got to say thanks to so many. Oh my goodness, so many people have Facebooked me, and I'm sure you guys are getting hit the same way. And we've had like so many people join up on the Brains Facebook page, and it's just beautiful to watch all these beings of light showing up. It's like everyone's kind of showing up to the same party. It's beautiful. You were talking about the rays of the sun there getting longer, and it's we're actually seeing that in the physical manifestation. But getting back to the invocation of the cross, for me it was always about, I knew that judges and cops and all the rest of these criminals, and I will use the term very loosely, but until you guys wake up and see the error of your ways, and you're just following orders blindly, knowing that you are harming others and justifying it because you have a shiny badge and a funny uniform, that does not give you the right to do that. So until you change your way, you're a criminal in my world, and you will sow what you reap, or reap what you sow. It works both ways. Your mirror is you. It's not that I don't have any mercy or pity. That's all I have for people that are that asleep, astoundingly asleep, that they would willfully harm others that they never met. In my case, I lost count of the number of people I've never met in my life that came and wished harm upon me, physically and otherwise. So, to them, cheers. There's your mirror, slancha. But the idea was this. I knew that we had to be in dishonor somehow to allow for them to stay in dishonor while they were, fleecing the sheeple, as it were. And again, there is the good and evil, so I'm not going to dwell on one or the other because they're both equally important. See, the good part is when you start seeing the wrongs of the world, you get the opportunity to look at your own polarity within, and you get to measure yourself. Is that something can you go along with? The wars of going around the world killing people everywhere, and what have you. If you can agree with that, continue paying taxes and following your slave masters, and you will reap that harvest at some point. That's how nature works. Nature is a beautiful thing, and when you understand what the present is, not the present, the present, because everything you're living in right now is past. It's already created. Everything around you is created. That's the past tense, no? It's not like it's creating. In the case of a seed growing, that's creating. But when you look around you, everything was already here when you got here, so it's past. And what we've done is we laid out breadcrumbs so that future and past work simultaneously in the present, called now. And when you see that, you understand the matrix, and it's pretty cool. You start looking for your rabbit trails, the coincidences and the synchronicities, and everything that you experience in your life, everything, all things for a reason. There is not one mistake, period. Creation's perfect. I know, because I'm creator, just like you. We wouldn't create something that wasn't perfect. One hell of a game, though. But getting back to the invocation of the cross, it's very simple. I had to figure out, for me, what was resonating in my experience, how I was in dishonor within their system. And, going along willy-nilly, asleep, and, following the standard pattern of everybody else, going, having a business and all the rest of it. And, then we go through our little wake-up phases, and you start seeing the injustices and whatever. And mine was rather it wasn't a rude awakening, but it was definitely something that I had to wake up to in rapid fashion, based on circumstances that were coming at me fast and furious. No pun intended. But what I did discover was, we would figure something out. Specifically, I would work on something, figure it out as to, how the lawyers or whatever were being, for other people, were being in dishonor. And then we'd nail that one shot. And lo and behold, about a week or so later, that same thing didn't work anymore because we peeled the layer. You see, the whole thing about the legal is the straw man mindless of the Wizard of Oz. And if you play in it, you're mindless. Any referencing to it, that's the whole thing, is these are all man-made laws. They're not real. When you're harming someone, that's natural law. That's real, right? And when you can use pieces of paper to disembowel people, that's not very natural. So anyway, I traced it all back. For me, it was all traced back to the name and the birth certificate, in that had to be an original sin, one that we were unaware of, and one, more importantly, that our parents were unaware of. And the net result of that was what I gave out to the world on Christmas Eve, and I sent it Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and Boxing Day to a handful of the powers that were, corresponding ones that resonated with me as to who should get it. And with me, it's irrelevant anyway, because once the concept is entered into the Akashic, i.e., once I think of it, it's part of the consciousness, so I don't have to be waiting for physical proof. As frustrating as that is in the situations I'm in and what have you, it's irrelevant. Creation will work for you. It just takes a little bit, because you got to adjust everything around it. But you had a chance to read through it. Actually, all three of you guys, maybe get some feedback from you guys. Your thoughts on it?
Yeah, very good document, and one heck of a rabbit hole to dive down for sure. It just cracked open so many things for me. I mean, when you can actually follow that, all of the legals and all of the stuff behind it, it makes perfect sense. But it's one heck of a rabbit trail, really, isn't it? It just went so deep, and so, how you ever found all of those things is incredible. But,
yeah, cartoons.
what it did is turn it upside down in its head.
Yeah, follow my rabbit trails, and it was all cartoons. That's what happens when you see the Matrix. You see everything everywhere, and then I just like to use cartoons because they work better for me. They're more fun to watch too, and they're really blatant with kids. They want to get the truth out.
Yes, they are.
Yes, they are. Yeah, we had a good chat last night about all of this. Yeah. I'll divulge some of the cartoons that you need to watch and what you need to have available to you, and then have your jaw dropping, because mine has been like that for a while. This time last year, I just finished up the Denique Ultimatum Reverio Verum, which was an expose on how the corporate takeover was done to us in terms of unum sanctum and what have you, and that was a lot of stuff I'd worked on with Santo. And, of course, Santo, and Tony, and myself, we all kind of sent that around the same time. Hey?
Well, yeah, we did. My son lodged his in the magistrate's court in Dandenong here in Melbourne on the 13th of January. Didn't hear anything back from that at all.
Yeah,
and got his license returned back to him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's the thing about truth, and once people learn to stand in their silver or ruby red slippers, once you learn to stand in those shoes, you have divine providence. And I don't see what the system has done so brilliantly was convinced you that you're not God. What they've done is they've convinced you into shipping outside of yourself into some imaginary long-haired guy in the sky with apparently that needs a penis because it can't create without one, which I've always had a problem with, for obvious reasons, but whatever. It's, again, the answers you're not going to find outside. You're going to find your clues to your rabbit holes outside, for sure. I mean, that's part of the creation. But certainly you're not going to find answers out there. The answers will resonate within you, because at the end of the day, when you close your eyes, you're the only one that is. Imagine that.
Beautiful, Katie. And everybody's, everybody's truth is personalized to them, and they'll resonate with different signs that you did, and they, that's why I think it's important for everybody, just once you've awakened to how to look for these clues and the keywords and have the tools to decipher them. Each person we're coming in contact with is bringing a new piece of information to the plate, and it's the puzzle that's getting put together is just a magnificent piece of art.
Yeah, absolutely, and I got to thank Zoe and Duke two people I've known for a long time and have worked with. Again, it was just beautiful synchronicity that everything came together. And I got to tell you, as soon as that moment hit, and you start looking at it, you start to laugh. And I got to tell you, I do get so tired of the dramas around me. I really do. It's you're trying to share something with people in the world, and the drama that gets thrown back, and somehow playing house is relevant. It's like, but anyway, it's I guess we just sit and we wait until people click, and you're right, Sunny. There are a lot of people that have just caught on to this now. Maybe what I will do is share some of the tools that you need. One, you need to be awake. Okay, and that means that you have decided that everything you were ever taught was bullshit. Okay, and once you're there, that's a good place to start, because everything you have been taught is absolute bullshit. Yeah, we can go into that for hours, eh, Santo, Tony, Sunny, yeah? Just a lot. Okay, so now that we've decided that we have a clean canvas, a new white canvas that we can paint our own pictures on, here's what we need to do. We need to start trusting ourselves. We need to decide that we are consciousness, that we are God. Because, hey, some really cool teachers told us that, ye are gods. What part of ye are gods didn't you get? And I'm saying this profusely to Christians out there that have to worship outside of themselves. So-and-so died for me, and no, they didn't, you dope. They're trying to show you how to be. Don't worship the Christ, be it, you morons. Anyway. And I'm being loving when I'm saying this. Please take this lightly. I'm just trying to be very aloof tonight. I've just had enough of the dramas, to be honest with you. So now that you've decided that you are, ye are God, okay, so you're part of consciousness, oh my goodness, all of a sudden the responsibility of that sets in. And some people aren't comfortable with that, and that's why they go and run behind religions. And they hide behind religions, because that way someone else is still in front of them, a minister or something that they can look up to make their choices for them. Of course, raping children and stuff is part of that decision-making process that they like to have, apparently. But anyway, not someone I would, and I'm not saying that about all of them, but, I would go with the odds of 1 in 3, and that's pretty good. Okay, now that we've got that part out of the way, we get rid of all the nonsense. We have a nice clean canvas. What you're going to need is a Black's Law 9th edition decoding ring book. It's a magic book, guys. It is, as E pluribus tremble, one of the decoded lines in Gravity Falls, the cartoon series. If you rearrange all the letters, it's E pluribus tremble turns into the Supreme Bible, and it is a book of books. All right, and again, you can have a butter knife can be used for good or evil. It's what is your intent, and if you're stuck in this Satan and God thing, then you're not going to get it, okay? Because you're just not going to get it. That's how it is. You have to let go of that illusion. Okay, so you got your Black's 9th decoder ring, and what you're going to do is you're going to start following your own rabbit trails, things that resonate. Things that work with me are things that come up 3 times, stated 3 times, because 3 times a charm, right? No place like home, no place like home, no place like home. And things that have factored into my life, that coincidentally show up. So then I go and look those things up. And if basically what it is I look for key phrases, things that are, well, that's interesting to look at. Oh, by the way, the Headhunters cartoon, you want to know what's really cool? Just to give people an example, on the back of one of the jackets of one of the guys in the bar, it's a cartoon. He's part of the Scarodactyls gang, right? So you just see him briefly. So I decided to look up dactyl. Guess what dactylography is? Identification through fingerprinting.
Really?
Yeah, just a coincidence.
Is it spelled D-A-C-T-Y-L?
Yeah, exactly the same.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and then you look up. Then you have tub.
You're breaking up, Kate.
Oh, I know I am, because I'm telling people what to do. Anyway, so it's all right, guys. Blue light special just came in. Yeah, Polar Express. I'm here. And now another character in the same room, Tub Pup. So I looked that up, and lo and behold, it has Tubman, which is a postman. Now, you guys that are listening, like in the call here, you know what I'm talking about, relevancy of the postman and what have you. But right above it is TTB, the the Alcohol Tax and Tobacco Bureau, which is where we found how to change our labels. They're trying to tell you how to get home, guys. You got to stop taking this game so seriously. Because the more serious people take it around me, the more frustrated I get, because it's like, you're missing it? Okay. I think I need to go and find myself a nice big hole, go crawl in it, and just kind of be okay there. No drama there. Just the game unfolds. It's beautiful. Anyway, so that's basically it. For those that want to get a copy of it, I put it on the Freedom Reigns Facebook page. You can contact me direct, of course, always. Kate.Rene.5, that's KATE.RENE.5. And I will say, yes, I know an awful low voice for the name. For those that are just kind of bumping into me, I'm transgender. My voice is this way because it is. Anyway, as I like to say, voice is lower than boobs would indicate. So there you go. Don't worry, you'll get over me. I did. Anyway, so contact me if you want to get a copy of it. I do have it posted all over the web. And, oh, Tony, there was a couple other places. It's up on Scribd now as well, and you posted it in a few places, didn't you?
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, it's up on Facebook and, like you said, Scribd, and it's shortly to be on Before It's News.
Yeah, you actually had it posted up there in the full document.
Global Consciousness, yeah, absolutely. I can get you over a link.
Yeah, no worries. Just letting people know it's out there. If you, I would even just say you can probably Google Invocation of the Cross or Invocation of the CRSS. That's Claudia Rebus Sextantibus. Just a coincidence that it had something to do with the cross. And I think this is where we need to bring Santo in and start talking about some astrotheology, because that's where the true cross meaning comes in.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Kate, you mentioned the churchgoers, and you mentioned the priestcraft in all of what you said, right? So, yeah. I made a note of that because this is where a big block to the advancement of the human race as it returns back to source. This is where the biggest block is on the planet right now, the churches. For any churchgoers that are listening, and we need to reach them, we really need to reach them, because they're good people, but churchgoers are dumb. And it's not their fault. The world has produced, this system, Rome has produced a lot of dummies. Dumbed down. Really badly dumbed down. And the churches have a double dose, because they've got the secular dumbing down, and then they go off to church for more dumbing down on top of that, and they get the same bullshit that they get in their other institutions. Simple as that. Period. No argument. You can even work this out by asking them. Okay? Just draw a circle. Draw a circle on a page and put 30,000 dots in that circle. And that's how many so-called churches, Christian churches, they're not at all Christian, believe you me, okay, for a start. But that's how many there are that you put in the circle, because that's how many are registered on this planet, the morons. They call this Christendom. I call it Christendom. And you just ask one of those denominations, i.e. the Jehovah's Witnesses, are all the other 29,999, are they a bunch of dumb morons, or are they also going to be saved like you, Mr. Jehovah's Witness? And you'll find that the Jehovah's Witness, on behalf of the 7 million active Jehovah's Witnesses on the planet, he will say, yes, Mormons are morons, they're going to hell. Catholics are evil, they worship Satan, and they're into pedophilia, and they support pedophilia. because they're a corrupt church, which is provable. Anyway. And the list, and they'll go down all of that list and tell you that they're all from the devil, they're all doing pedophilia, they're all morons going to their churches, they're all brainwashed by Satan, they're in mind control organisations. And then you go, and you leave the Jehovah's Witnesses, and then you go to the Mormons, and you do the same questioning. And you go to the Pentecostals, Baptists, and you get my point. They themselves are condemning themselves. They will tell you that they're a bunch of morons. Just listen to them. They're all smacked out on Prozac, Xanax, Zoloft, aspartame, fluoride, and all sorts of other delightful medications that they get from Big Pharma.
Yeah, huge.
And
yeah, everything you're eating, by the way, I like to bring this up too, Santo. It's what you're eating, guys. Processed foods. Processed means for tax. It's 2 Latin words. I think one of the best places to start is start looking at the words as the compounds that they are. We've already decoded all of it and speak the green language now, so the spells are not working anymore. The letters have been decoded right down to the tree or the flower of life. So speak freely. Only your intention is now being wielded, which is pretty cool. Anyway, sorry about that. I just want to throw that in. And I want to say hi to Kelly and Jackie, who just tagged me on Facebook, and so many others. I mean, they're coming in now, and more people join Freedom Reigns. So thank you so much for being awake, guys. You have no idea. That's the gift in return to me, watching the light just fire up. It's beautiful.
yeah, and the word process. What's a cesspool?
Yeah, tax pool. That's why they give you recess at school, right? That's why they give you recess in court. They want to retax you. Now, as you need to be aware, is the ancient original spelling of Ra, son of God, sun, and S-U-N. Not the male penis thing, sun. Sun and star. Sun is masculine, star is feminine. Yet the sun is a star, yes? Okay, so it is both. Like the Latin word, se, S-E. 2 letters, very powerful. Se in Latin means himself, herself, itself. It is the Holy Trinity of One, which brings everything of the duality nature of the masculine, feminine into the neutral third, creating the Trinity of One. That is creation itself. So time to be per se, huh?
Yeah. So with the situation with the churches, churchgoers must open their eyes immediately, urgently, desperately, and see that the churches are funded and they are the brainchild, tax collecting machine of the universe. That's what the churches are. That's all they are. And they are funded by the elites. You know, you often, it really disappoints me when I see people out there that promote their videos and make videos trying to expose this system, and yet they're still hanging onto their church ideas, you know, and trying to bring people to freedom by giving them a little bit of slavery mixed in with it, you know. There's no room for churches where consciousness is going, where consciousness is taking us into the new world, folks. There's no room. There will be no churches. There will be the knowledge of the one creator, and it is the one mind, the one universe, and it's all a oneness. There's no division.
Yeah. Not to be confused with the New Age movement, guys, okay, because that's another ploy. You got to walk a very fine line here. The minute you go out trying to follow anything or anyone, that includes us. All right, I'm very adamant about making sure that you keep your canvas yours. What I speak of is my canvas, and what Santo and Cindy and Tony speak of is their canvas. What we have learned to do is keep our canvases and share them, and look for things that resonate on what we have created ourselves. It's not about walking around and having someone paint your canvas for you, like they do in school, like they do in government, like they do in church, and all the rest of it. And you got to remember, all the religions, and I don't care what religion it is, they're all the same. Okay? What they've done is they've subverted the most beautiful truths in all those ancient texts, those mystical books called the Quran, the Bible, the Vedic, the Torah, all those beautiful, beautiful, allegorical, metaphorical, mystical books of truth that have been corrupted using the literal translations, which basically says that Moses is a pedophile and that, you know, the god of war is an angry, jealous god. I don't know about you, but I don't see a whole lot of love in jealousy and war and anger and destruction. Sorry, this doesn't work for me. I mean, these are just very basic common sense things that, and I have to remind you, all those religions that you're defending, that you think, I call it religiocosis chosenitis, that you feel you need, that you feel you need to defend, are the same beings that brought you the Inquisition, that burned people at the stake for daring to say something against the church. They're the ones that slaughtered, that bring you war after war after war in the form of my God is better than your God and I'm going to kill you to prove it mentality. It is such a childish death wish. And, you know, the sooner we grow up and decide, you know, that's not a good way to go, you're going to keep going circular. Me, I'm done. I know many others that are done with this, and what we're doing now is like in the movie The Postman. It said it very clearly to me the other day. It's just, all you have to do is hold on. And that's all we're doing now. We're standing to post. We found our truth. We're standing in it. And you know what happens with that? The same thing that happened to Dorothy, the door of God, Dorotheos. Dorothy, when she put on the ruby red slippers, which Frank L. Baum had originally written as silver, because silver is mystical for truth. What she did when she stood in those shoes and then decided to walk in them down the yellow brick road to her heart, the Emerald City, even the Wicked Witch of the West, the most powerful being of evil in the land of Oz, couldn't touch her. And that's what you get. And my favorite quote in the entire movie is, I love this, it's just before the witch gets melted. The last to go will see the first three go before her. That's the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, and the Cowardly Lion. And you should look those things up in Blacks, and you'll be a little surprised at what they actually show you. Effectively, what the straw man is a mindless one that has no concept or direction, is guessing their way through and working with legal and all the rest of it. That's the straw man. That's why what a coincidence. People refer to, you know, your all caps name as the straw man. So that's a good place to start. Once you get rid of the straw man mentality, now you can find your heart, the Tin Man. The fear that had you frozen, the waters of truth that rusted you solid, will finally get oiled with the Santa Claus, and then you can start moving further down the road. And then all you have to do at that point is get rid of the fear. And because fear, if you look at the lower chakras, is all yellow. That's why it's a yellow brick road. So you have to follow your road of fear to find your heart, right? The last one you come into focus with is the Cowardly Lion, and then you're confronted at the very end with the wizard, the all-powerful wizard, who is actually powerless. And then Glenda tells you at the end of the movie, you had the answer all the time. All you had to do was click your heels together 3 times. No place like home. No place like home. No place like Om. It's called Om is where the heart is, baby. All right. All roads lead to roll get into the heart. You find your Emerald City. You're fine.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go find your Emerald City, and 3 is the magic number. It's so simple when you know, after I've listened to you say it over and over and over and over again over the past couple weeks, and if you actually just find your inner child and use that reasoning and that logic while you're looking for your yellow brick road, things pop out of nowhere and it becomes so simple. You have to unlearn everything, wipe the hard drive clean, and then go back with the eyes of a child. And so many beautiful things will happen. There is absolutely no fear, none whatsoever. I don't care what new article someone posts on my wall or posts in a group, and what about this, and what about this, and what about this? But I don't care. It doesn't matter. It's just, I know who I am, and I know where I'm going.
Yeah, that's all fear porn drama. That's exactly what you're describing. And so many people get into the fear porn drama motif and get caught up in the material worldly games of somehow the material meat stick physical reality is somehow superior to your creator status. Boy, oh boy, did they convince you. Sorry, I'm not buying that anymore. I'm done with it. And I just want to say a quick hi to Kelly. And she's tuned in right now. And we got Anna. Oh my goodness, so many people. Wanda, Teddy, and Janet, and oh my goodness, the list goes on. And I want everyone to know this because I've made it, and so is Santo, and so is Tony, and so is Cindy, and so many others. We make ourselves completely available, many times in the past to our own detriment. But lo and behold, we stand in the truth, and we're here. Okay. We are not, some people again, this is why I love to dispel this. I am just like everybody else. Okay, fine, I'm a little different two-spirit thing, but that's just my particular role that I'm playing here to find my truth in this game. But we're all the same, guys. There are no pedestals here. The stage is level. We just have to make our own independent individual choices of, do we want to continue playing the role of an extra? Do we want to be the character on Star Trek that wears a different uniform that gets beamed down to a planet to get slaughtered? Or do we want to decide to move into a co-starring role? Do we want to start taking over a starring role in our own movie, our own creation? Pretty simple choice.
Someone's mic's on in the background there. What churchgoers in particular are going to find is that their institutions, when the money dries up, and it will, because people are opting out of the fiction in their droves now, and you'll find that banking and fictional money, funny money, won't be around for much longer. But when it does, the churches will instantly shut up shop. Because they're all operating as mind control organisations for the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds and the Jesuits and all of that mob. That's all they're there for. There's no other purpose for churches. Not even for. Don't even think. Oh yeah, but they're good for They're good for people to go and have a community and strengthen one another in their community. No, they're not. They're divisive. There's a lot of gossip going on in them. There's pedophilia going on in them, and protected pedophilia, by the way. The only place on the planet left where pedophiles can be left alone, unmolested, to do their dirty deeds, where the law cannot get in. It's the only place left. It's the only haven left. Christianity. Christendom. Join one of Christendom's churches, Jehovah's Witnesses, Catholics, take your pick. And you can be a pedophile, you can go in there, and when they catch you, they'll just hit you on the wrist and you go to another diocese, you can just start again, fresh. It's ridiculous. We're tolerating these churches. They must be shut down instantly, immediately for the future peaceful progress of this planet. All of them. Jehovah's Witnesses, Mormons, all of them need to be shut down. They've got to be shut down. And we will. Consciousness will shut them down because they are pedophilia incorporated. And we must wake up to this before we even take step number 2. And what they're doing is they're selling a corrupt version of the true Christianity. What will happen when the churches are dissolved is that true Christianity, true Islam, true Judaism, Hinduism, etc. will continue as it used to before monotheistic pedophilia corporate church came into existence. Christianity has always been on this planet. It's the science of light. God is light, etc. Hinduism is the same thing. It's the science of light. And the only people who don't understand this is churchgoers, because they've been told that Hinduism is just demon worship. Islam is just demon worship, period. You see, this is how they've been indoctrinated. They're morons. They're mushy-brained morons. And what they don't understand, because they can't read properly with the keys, the astrological keys to understand the documents, is that these documents are dealing with science, the science of light. And so that is what will persist and what will continue into all of eternity. So we might as well get familiar with these sciences. There's nothing wrong with the science of theology. Theology teaches us the nature of the Creator, which is the unknowable, unnamed, causal, still magnetic light of the universe, which is omnipresent, omniscient, and immortal, knows all things, is everywhere, is omnipresent, and it is what we are made of. And that's what we are. When we realize who we are and wake up to who we are, we will realize that we are just that. We are the same stillness. Anywhere we go in the universe, we can find that stillness. That's why we are asked to meditate and to go into the stillness and to find the stillness, because it's in there that we find the causal one, which is beyond this world of duality and dualisms. And I've explained this in other shows, so I won't go much into that theology, because I want to do the holy days that are coming, and I want to do the name of God, which is the throne of God in the skies, to elaborate more on this, because it's getting a lot of good feedback. And but in theology there is the one God of oneness, the one that I've just described, and from that one God of oneness proceeds what's called the Word of God, or the Son of God, the only begotten, which is the force of electricity, Emmanuel electricity. And Emmanuel always has Magdalene as his partner in the legends, because L and magnetism, electricity and magnetism, is what produces all of the dualistic world that we see. And it's this one that we need to rise above, the dualistic world. And it's this one that causes us to not know our oneness, because we believe in the two-ness. We believe in all of these stories that are going on. Oh, I'm a PhD, and I'm an expert at this, and I'm a doctor, or I'm a psychologist, and people believe this. They go to university, they study for 10 or 15 years, then they do their profession, and they believe that they are these things, that their bodies are participating in all of these schemes, And people feel so important when they can say that they've got 2 or 3 properties. It's amazing, when you're walking past those coffee shops and you hear people talking about their properties, and they've got their shirt and tie and their business clothes on, and they've got their books and pens, and they're doing business meetings while they're having a brunch or a breakfast at the cafe, and you walk past them. Sometimes when I'm having my break in the mall, when I do my music, I go to the cafe for a coffee or something, and you hear people's conversations, and they feel so important in these roles that they are playing. They're on stage, and they're taking it so seriously. My God, keeping is a real thing. It's happening, man. A lot of people.
Yeah, it's a joke, really.
In foreheads, I mean, my God, these people really, really believe in their investments. They're losing sleep over them. And so this is why the scriptures tell us to do not be loving the world, or the things in the world, and the showy displays of the world. The world is passing away. In fact, read that scripture, 1 John chapter 2. I used to love sharing this scripture at the doors when I was Jehovah's Witness, you know. Very faithful. Do not be loving either the world or the things in the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. Because everything in the world, the desire of the flesh and the desire of the eyes and the showy display of one's means of life does not originate with the Father, but originates with the world. Furthermore, the world is passing away, and so is its desire. But he that does the will of God remains forever. What that's saying really is this world is a kingdom of ideas. It's Roman. And the Romans inherited their version from the Babylonians, mostly. And the Egyptians and the Greeks. Oh yeah. They didn't miss a trick, the Romans. They mixed it all up and they turned it into literal Christianity. And they said, you now have a literal saviour. Literally. Jesus Christ. That's his name. And he is going to come and save your ass. Because you can't do it, you're a sinner. And so you need someone to come and do that for you. So you just wait there in this church and he'll come and save you one day. For sure. Just believe. And this is a sort of stupidity going on in the churches. What the Gospels are talking about is a Christ that is within. And the Apostle Paul alludes to that in Colossians, when he talks about the sacred secret that was not known to the ancients, but is now revealed to you, O Colossians, which is the sacred secret of the Christ within. Yeah, check out the word sacred and secret, and you'll find that secret comes from secretion, and sacred comes from the sacrum, which is the part of the body at the bottom of the spine, and the secretion is the secretion which is called the chrism, or the Christ, the oil of the cerebrospinal system. And it secretes from the top, goes down to the sacrum, and then it goes back up to the top, to the heavens, the head. And this is the Christ they don't want you to know. You see, they want you not to fulfill this process and develop this process in you, so that you can know who you are and reclaim dominion and return to the heavens as the prodigal son and re-establish yourself in dominion, so that you don't go participating in these name games and calling yourself a name, so that they can participate with you and whip your butt and send you into jail for using their intellectual property. All of it is a game. It's all a game. All of it. All of this world of motion, which is the world that is passing away, which the scriptures agree will happen. This world is passing away, and so are its desires. You know, keeping up with the Joneses and having 6 SUVs in your quadruple garage. Those are desires. Those are passing away. That's all motion. And people who are jumping on that train, that gravy train, they are the ones that are going to be bitten the most. Because when the money drives up, and it will, all of these delusions will disappear. That's why the scripture says, and the Lord sent a delusion unto them, a strong delusion, and they bought the delusion, and they were all deluded. And Satan is blinding the minds of the unbelievers. And those unbelievers are actually churchgoers, because they're the ones that go around saying, oh, Lord, Lord, didn't we prophesy in your name? Matthew chapter 7:21, by the way. Didn't we expel demons in your name? Didn't we do many powerful works in your name? Lord, Lord. And yet I will confess to them, get away from me, you workers of lawlessness, I never knew you. And what they're hiding is a beautiful story in the sky. You know, they talk about, Jehovah's Witnesses, for instance, talk about Jehovah. Oh, Jehovah is God's name, and they have committed sacrilege because they don't use God's name, Jehovah. Well, the Dunks have got no idea where this name Jehovah actually turns up in, where it turns up in nature. All you've got to do is look up to the true gospel, the wheel that is turning around us, the belt of the zodiac, which is the throne of God. And all you have to do is pay attention to the fixed signs. You see, in the eclipse, the path of the sun, the yearly path of the sun, there are 12 signs, 30 degrees each. And the sun goes from Aries on March 21st, the equinox, and it goes up to the Tropic of Cancer. Cancer is one of the signs of the zodiac. And it hits the Tropic of Cancer. Then it goes back down through Libra at the equinox, and then it goes to the Tropic of Capricorn at the summer solstice. And that's where it comes from. So we go from Capricorn, where the sun is born on the 25th of December, in the solstice, and then we go up to the Lamb of God at the equinox. And this is where we're going to pay a lot of attention. But these are the card signs that I've just mentioned. Cancer, Capricorn, Aries the Lamb, and Libra. The fixed signs, they are Leo, Aquarius, the age of Aquarius, Taurus, and Scorpio. And in the Bible, in Ezekiel and Revelation, these are the faces of God. And I saw the face of God, and it was the face of a man. And to the side, the bull. And to the back was the eagle. And to the left was the lion. You see, in Revelation, this is how the cherubim, or God, the face of God, is described. And these are the fixed signs of the zodiac. Because the fixed signs are what's called the throne of God. And when you look at these signs, the eagle is Scorpio. And when you look up Scorpio, you see clearly the J in the heavens. And in the tail of the J, you will see the letter Yod of the Hebrews. And this is the J in the name of Jehovah. Directly opposite is Taurus. And in Taurus is the head of the Hyades, and that is in the shape of a V. And this is the J and the V in the name Jehovah. And then you have two H's. Well, they would be Aquarius and Leo. And so Jehovah, the Tetragrammaton, JHVH, or Yod-He, Yod-He, Va-He, this is the fixed signs of the zodiac, in order, starting from Scorpio. Now, when you look at that J, it also looks like an S, and it is. And there you see how the Hindus have named it Shiva. SHVH, or SHVA, Shiva. And when you look at it from the Jewish system, you will see that the name Israel is also in fixed signs of the zodiac. The S, of course, is for Isis, Scorpio, because the glyph for Scorpio is the letter M, Mary, Isis Mary. And from Scorpio through Virgo, you have three signs, Scorpio, Libra, and Virgo, and this is all feminine Isis territory. Opposite is Ra territory, the Ram, Aries. So, you see the glyph for Virgo is also an M, and it's an MY, or an MI, Mary Isis, or Isis Mary, as they used to call her in Egypt. And so, this is the Isis for Israel, and then directly opposite Isis you have Ra, and you will find that when you spot the brightest constellation in the sky, Orion, you will see that it's in the shape of an R. And Taurus is in the shape of an A, a V or an A, and next to Taurus is one of the deacons of Aries called Perseus, which is in the shape of an H. And then next to Perseus is Cassiopeia, and she is in the shape of an M. And these four constellations in the head, Aries, Taurus, These make up Ram or Ram with an H in it, or shortened, you have the name Ra. And there is Ra, and then you go over to the L, Lion, Leo, and you have L is Ra, L. That's what they're hiding. They're hiding the true nature of the law of God. You see, the law of God is the Torah, and anagram is rota, and rota, to rotate, is the wheel, which is the will of God. What the buffoons, the priestcraft are doing, the priestcraft are teaching a literal story from the true gospel that is in the sky, the only gospel that will really and truly benefit you. The truth that is in the gospel, which is the astrotheological story of how the stars above are exactly the replica of what is in your body below. And this is what they are hiding from the eyes of the churchgoers, so that they do not know that this is their divine origin. We are made of stars, and we are part. We are, in fact, our body is a galaxy. It's a galaxy coming in the microcosm, and it will be a fully developed galaxy one day, as we return to the macrocosm where we come from, and to return to the oneness of who we are. And so, as the sun climbs to the equinox, the most important day of the year, which is the true start of the year. In fact, in astronomy, the first degrees of Aries are right ascension of meridian. Now, notice that will give you Ram, right ascension of meridian, because Aries is the prime meridian in the skies. So to reach that right ascension of meridian, we must traverse some holy days. And the first holy day is that I want to bring to your attention is the day of circumcision, January 1. You see, because in the Jewish system, a male Jew born will have to wait 8 days for the day of circumcision. And you see, this goes back to the original astrotheological system, the true gospel, the yearly gospel, which begins in some systems on the summer solstice, and in some it begins on the equinox. It can begin on in Capricorn, or it can begin in Aries, the sheep and the goats. This is why the sheep and the goat motif is so common and popular in all of our sacred texts. And the Jewish system is not excluded. The wolf and the lamb, sheep and the goats are a prominent motif in their scriptures, and the Christian Greek scriptures also. And so you see, 2 Gospels are devoted to Capricorn, and 2 Gospels are devoted to Aries. Matthew and Luke are devoted to Capricorn, because they begin with a baby in a manger. And that's when the sun is the smallest at the start of the year in Capricorn. Whereas Mark and John begin with a fully grown Jesus. And that would be Aries, where Jesus is fully grown now and is ascending at Easter time. You see, Christmas and Easter are the 2 times that we are talking about. We are referring to the 2 holy festivals of Christmas and Easter here. And so when you see a baby Jesus in the manger, that's Christmas, and that's Capricorn, and that's Matthew and Luke. And when you see Jesus fully grown, and he's the Lamb of God that takes away world, as he is introduced in the first chapter of John, because it's talking about Aries, you see. Well, this is the Lamb of God, and we celebrate Easter there. Now, the day of circumcision is very, very important. Keep it in mind. I'm not anticipating that anything powerful will happen in the skies, but you know how it is. We are experiencing consciousness shifts, so expect the first day of 2013 to be bright. Pay attention, guys, and you won't miss out. Pay attention and you will see that consciousness does shift and it does go upward. The next day I'll be looking out for would be January the 3rd or the 4th. This is what they call perihelion. And what scientists, consensus science, tells you that is the day that the sun is the closest to the Earth. They say 4 million miles closer to the sun on January 4th than it is on July 4th, Independence Day, which is apohelion. Now, I don't subscribe to this because I know that our solar system is a vortex. It's a vortex solar system. It's not a flat disk, and all the planets orbit on the same plane as the sun. That is what consensus science teaches, and that too will be discarded very, very shortly. It is a vortex solar system. And so, but the 4th of January is very, very important because it is one of these special portals. We have about 6 great portals in the heavens as our sun travels ecliptic. But the 21st day of the moon cycle this year corresponds with the 6th of January. And in the liturgical year, this is none other than the Epiphany, the appearance of the Lord, you see. The Lord appears. And this is when in fact the 3 wise men see the Christ. You see, because they don't see the Christ in the manger. They see the Christ when he is I think the Greek word is brephos, which means an infant now. So, the sun is advanced. What happens, you see, in Greek theology and also in Egyptian theology, ancient Egyptian theology, is that they would wait 12 days before they would announce that the sun is commencing to lengthen. And they call the celebration of this day, this holy day, the Epiphany. And this corresponds to the 21st day of the moon cycle, and this is in fact when the 3 days of spiritual darkness will be on the earth. And the Mayans are also the respecters of the lunar calendar. So really, the 21st of December 2012 is really going to happen on the 6th of January, between the 6th and the 9th of January. These are the true days of darkness, spiritual darkness, and then what will happen is the sun will then be declared the new sun, the new ethereal sun. And so look out for that, because I'm sure you will also experience a great consciousness awakening on that day, as we are already. I mean, every day I wake up, there is new powerful momentum in my life, and the more I meditate and the more I find the stillness, the more I'm finding that we are pretty powerful and we are all-knowing. If you want to know more, if you simply want to know more truth, go into the silence. Go into the stillness. Because all the answers are there. And the noisy world outside of you is not the place where you will find it. There are people clamoring for attention out there. priests, clergy, salesmen, they can sell you anything. Man, they're good. They're really good. And they are on fire. And they believe that the material world will just keep going as it is. And they're selling shit at you left, right, and centre. They've got all sorts of goods. I mean, you should have... 5 minutes from my place, in fact, 2 minutes from my place, there is the biggest shopping centre in the Southern Hemisphere called Fountain Gate. And I've been there for years, probably. My wife goes there shopping 2 or 3 times a week, you know, because you can get everything there. Everything. And you got to see the people at Christmas time there. Woo! Wow. And they are buying all sorts of things, clamouring, and all of this distraction is going on, you know, and they will never know who they really are. Well, not in this cycle anyway. It's probably too late. I don't know. No one knows. But will they be saved? Will something miraculous happen to these sheeple one day where they will also just see it the way it really is and awaken to this nightmare that the elites have fabricated? Will they save their intellect in time? Will they acknowledge the Christ within and raise that soul to the light and understand that they are all that ever was and is and ever will be, and that they are pure light from God, children of God, the Creator, the One, which means we are all one, participating in that oneness? Whether they will wake up in time or not remains to be seen. But as the holy days come, all milestones, and there's more to come. I'm just going to have a little break now, Kate, because I'm sure the listeners will need a mental break too, because I've been going sort of half an hour straight, and
it's never that bad, Santo. Honestly,
not at all.
Yeah,
everybody's loving it in the chat.
Oh yeah. And again, I think so. You must have the helm on the Freedom Range chat room there, Cindy. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I've got Facebook covered, so I'm getting hammered here.
I've got the peace group on the Skype chat and the Freedom Range. So there's a lot of listeners in both chat rooms. Well, in Pete's room right now.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
And something else that I like to share with people too. You can contact me on Skype. My Skype is katie.renee.thompson. That's KATIE.RENEE.THOMPSON, just as it sounds. I know my Facebook is missing one E on Renee, but that's okay. That's kind of my duality, the boy-girl thing. So what a blessing that turned out to be. You know, this curse for a lifetime turned out to be the biggest blessing in getting rather interesting eyes to see with, and I have to factor in the Gemini thing too. Because what have we got here? We've got Tony, who is cusp 21st of May, Taurus Geminian. We have Santu, who is an Arian. We have Cindy, who is an Aquarian, and I'm a Gemini. Okay. Oh, actually, Cindy, you've got Aquarius with Gemini rising.
Aquarius, Gemini rising. Then, then Santo has the Leo rising. And you have the Leo rising. Tony is the Taurus, and Miranda is the Scorpion.
Scorpio.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So between the 5 of us, there you go, the 4 fixed signs, the Tetragrammaton.
Yep. And I'm just a little old messenger. You know, that's kind of, hey, but that's, you know, that was my role. I chose that. I came to be a messenger. And this is why people really need to understand what Santo is talking about, and you do it so well, so eloquently, Santo. I try to bring a different, I don't know, I bring my own thing to it with what you're doing in terms of the way I write and whatever, and Tony brings his, and Cindy brings hers, and Miranda, and oh my God, so many people, and you know, because I am the sum of the whole of all of my experiences, which includes everyone that I've ever come into contact with, because that is an aspect of my consciousness being mirrored to me from a different perspective, and that's all we are. We are the one creation. We are all knowing, and in order to have a game, we kind of have to go into the all not knowing kind of thing in order to play this beautiful, beautiful movie that we're playing roles in, and that's what I'm trying to get across to people, to lighten up. Stop taking your role so seriously, like what Santa was saying earlier about, the salesman and the priest and all the, someone comes up to me and says, well, I've got a PhD in this and that and the other, and I'm just going to look at them and say, yeah, well, you got dumbed down more than most of us. And just to let people know, I'm not an intellectual slouch. I had Queen's University Belfast lined up for me. I was set to go there. A certain instance happened when I was a kid in Ireland, and we ended up coming back here to Canada. I'm Irish, just so, give you a geographical references to where I showed up on this planet. Yeah, as a result, the quote higher learning places of indoctrination just never, they were always there, but they never materialized. And so I decided to use that to a different approach and became a singer-songwriter. Something I do want to share with people with what Sonda was saying about meditation. You will find that on average, and it's not to make less of or greater than, this is just a proven fact, those of you that are listening right now that are musicians, there is a reason why you have awakened. And that is mainly due to the fact that you spent an inordinate amount of time meditating while learning the craft of your instrument. And what I will suggest to those that do not play, and singing is an instrument as well, so don't think that if you don't play an instrument that you're not meditating. When you're singing, you're actually in that zone as well. So I need to make that crystal clear. What I would suggest is, pick up something, and don't worry about going to get lessons or whatever. Just pick something up and play with it, because during that process of listening and doing, you are actually in a condition of meditation. You are in the stillness of self. And I like the Walter Russell's, I think it was in the book, Santo, maybe you can back me up on this, or it might have been Matt or Rob had talked about, the plucking of a string that vibrates, and then it will always return to the stillness. It will create the sound and return to the stillness. And that's what we are. We are all individual strings of the universe in a universal song. And our strings right now are vibrating as we move closer and closer to that stillness. And the urge of creation is very simply the ebb and flow, which is the urge to separate and then the equal and opposite urge to rejoin. And this is the breathing in and breathing out of the universe. And you are the universe in one. We're all of the same fractal universe, just different perspectives of that consciousness. So again, lose the New Age stuff and don't get caught up in the drama. What you need to do is get caught up in yourself. And the most beautiful entity in the universe is right there inside of your head. Just close your eyes and see it. It's beautiful. Look at you. I know you're beautiful because you're my mirror.
Excellent. Kate, I wanted to bring something else up that I noticed last night in my conversation that carried on with Miranda after you went to sleep. If you open up the conversation where we are connected to Blog Talk right now, and you see the Skype emblem, I was looking at that, and just the movie Avatar popped into my head. The Sky People. Skype. Do you see it?
Okay, are you talking about the Blog Talk, the actual chat room, or Freedom Reigns?
No, just where it says BTR Listener 027, and it opens up where we're all connected to Blog Talk right now. It's a blue screen with an ad in the middle of it, and it's got the highlighted Skype with clouds around it. It should be the very top conversation you have in your list.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, Cindy. It says Skype. Skype.
Yes.
Could be termed Skype. I think Skype.
Yes, Skype. I've heard a lot of people call it Skype. But it stood out to me, and Miranda says, yeah, it could be the other P too.
Oh yeah, that's definitely something that people need to do as well. For those that are truly dedicated to an awakening, and if you want one in very rapid fashion, and I'm talking within days, you want to open up your pineal and decalcify it. What you need to start doing is urine therapy, and that's looping your liquid gold that is the purest essence of life, contains your stem cells for regenerating youth and all the rest of it. Yeah, drink your wee, and you're going to leave everyone behind in the dust very, very, very quickly. I got to tell you, I mean, I was epiphanizing prior to that, but it went, exponential. And I've always considered myself to be a relatively awake being, but prior to that, I was figuratively unconscious, so. But yeah, it's amazing. I'm still not figuring out. Maybe it's just my brain is off in a different realm right now, figuring out what the hell you're talking about. But we do have a couple of callers. If you want me to check in to see if they have any questions or comments, I can do that, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, are you planning on doing a show tomorrow night, by the way, Santo? Because if not, I'll grab the helm, do a year-end thing. I mean, you'll already be in your New Year's Day, basically, by the time I get on it.
Yeah, no, I thought it would be cancelled, so I wasn't expecting to. Yeah, you can actually. Yeah, do it.
Yeah,
do that.
Let's do a show tomorrow night, guys, and we'll wrap up the year on the Northern Hemisphere and get the introduction of the new light in the Southern Hemisphere, as above, so below, with Santos. So we'll get the whole world connected again, like we always do. I mean, we've got north, south, east, and west covered here tonight, as we always do. Yeah, definitely we'll do that. So definitely tune in tomorrow night, again, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard, which is midnight to 2 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time. And, of course, you're in Pacific Time, which is 4 to 6, I believe, Cindy?
Yeah, yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's, yeah, we got the planet covered. And, Santo, it's 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. the next day in Australia, which is really cool. The ongoing joke I love to share with Santo is, if there's anything you forgot to do yesterday, let me know, I'm still here. Which should give you an indication as to, this whole time thing. I finally figured out the 0 point of time. It's beautiful. But anyway, let's take a couple of callers and see if they have any questions or comments, and we'll go from there. I'm trying to see who the longest caller is, because we have a few on here. Okay, computer, help. Okay, area code 951. First two numbers, 66. Your mic is waiting for it to go hot.
Okay, I'm here.
There you are. Yeah, there you are. Questions or comments?
Question.
Sure.
Okay, so this is a question for Santos. And my question is, which constellations and stars correspond to which chakras? If there's any correspondence there at all.
Yeah, there is. The seven planets that correspond to the chakras would be, starting from the bottom, you would have, well, let's start from the top. So Saturn is the top. He is the Lord of the Rings. He's got rings, and he's the top boy. So he gets the top chakra, the crown chakra.
Right on.
Yep, and Jupiter is the pineal system. Mars is the throat chakra. The Sun is in the center, always in the center. That's the heart chakra. So, nice. And that's Leo. And then Virgo is the solar plexus, and that would be, of course, Venus. Libra. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, because Venus is there. She is the ruler of that chakra. Then you've got Mercury, the sacral plexus, and the Moon would be the base chakra.
Right on.
And
thank you so much. All right, you guys.
So I'll put you back on hold. You got any other questions or comments? That was a great question.
No, just want to thank you guys for everything you guys are doing. Keep up the good work. Happy New Year, you guys.
And right back to you. Without you, we got no purpose. So see how it works? It's beautiful. Much love to you, and Happy New Year indeed. Happy New Age. Put that as one word, not new age. All right.
Just for reference, Santos, where can our caller go for a bit more information on that particular bit of information? I know you've done lots of videos and lots of information. Can you suggest anywhere that he can get that?
Yeah, most of my presentations deal with that because as I put the sine wave on the chart, then I immediately show how the body starts at Aries at the top of the head, and you will see in my syncretism presentations, for instance, there's a bit of background noise, by the way. Who's got their mic on?
It sounds like Tony typing.
Sorry.
And you will see the Adam Kadmon. You will see the man in the background around the wheel, and you will see where the chakras are. They correspond to the constellations. You see, the crown chakra is obviously there in Aries, and you see that violet, beautiful color of that chakra. And then you go over to Leo, and you'll see how that corresponds with the heart, and you will see that the heart chakra is there, and that's the sun. You see? So anyway, most of my presentations will... syncretism probably would be the best one, though, for that.
Yeah, I agree. And something I was going to mention to people as well, if you're going to listen to what we're talking about, if you want to listen back, you don't have to go back too many shows, and I do urge people to stay in the now with us, because what we are talking about right now is, well, this is my now in the pre-sent version of it. So what I'm going to be sharing with you are all the experiences culminating from everything that's happened in the past. So I don't talk to people about legal nonsense and all the rest of it. That's all dispelled, what have you. So just your last few presentations, Santo, will sum it up nicely for people. Okay, we got a couple other callers. We got a half hour here left, so I do want to bring as many people in as we can. Okay, so area code 415, first two numbers 21, and questions or comments? Your mic is hot. Area code 415, 21, first two numbers. Okay, I guess you're just listening. No problem. Put you back on hold. And we have one other caller here. Let's make sure that clicks over. Did I say I hate Internet Explorer? Yes, I did. Okay, here we go. Area code 484, first two numbers 47. Questions or comments? We can hear you. Area code 484, 472, first two numbers. Questions or comments? Okay, guess not. No worries. Okay, I do try to allow for the time delay. There's about a 2 or 3 second time delay. All right, so we've covered everyone that's called in there. I did have a couple of things that came up via Skype. There was someone had asked me a little bit about what do you call it? Materialism and all the rest of it. Listen. When that is your intent and your purpose, that to me is the misguided aspect. You see, when we go out to create things, are we creating them with the intent to please ourselves and maybe a handful of people around us, or are we in a co-creating state where what we do affects 7 generations? I'll give you an example. Just going to a mall and buying a $5 plastic toy made somewhere where it's going to break. Is that benefiting mankind, or would going out to, say, your backyard and planting an apple seed? Again, what is the intent of creating material? And again, you just have to get a bag of apples and pull out a seed from that, and you've got infinite creation at your fingertips, and that's one that most people miss. But again, there's nothing wrong. We're still in a game, guys. This is why I'm asking people not to take it so seriously. But don't get caught up in the game where the whole purpose is, fashion and looking this part and being this smart entity with the system trying to pull off that Yale student that Goodwill Hunting shredded. Because I guarantee you come across us, we can spot that stuff rather quickly, and we're not interested in it. The intent has to be pure. If the intent isn't pure, boy, it shows. So, again, it's a very fine line, but don't forget to have fun. That's why we're here. But don't let the fun get you in a position where you're all focused on yourself and not, procreating for others, right? Trying to give a good example of that. I mean, I can think of billions of them, but the thing is, it's like you were saying, Santo, about people that own all these properties and whatever, and the first thought I had was, well, what about all the homeless people? You've got 3 properties. Let's say someone has 10 properties and 8 of them are lying vacant because they can't be rented, and then there's people out in the street right now, freezing. And you see, that's not benevolent creation. That is taking from creation. Really, this is the whole thing. We got trapped in that delusion of chasing debt, and that's when you're chasing money. That's what you're chasing. You're literally chasing the illusion of debt, and you're asking. You're trying to create. I want more debt, more and more. You're just collecting karmic debt. And again, once you do have it, it's the intention of what are you using it for. Now, you can use it to destroy the evil of it, and our full intention is to take the monetary system down, because that is the bane and root of all evil. If someone can take the ability to create away from others via interest or usury, whatever, those that print the money first can buy everything first, and it's only the fools that follow along with it that allow that to happen. So that was, hopefully I've covered that a little bit. It's a matter of just, what is your intent? What is your perspective? And are you using your heart? Now, there was another post here.
We should just point out before we move on, Kate, the fact that is actually the intent of the people that do print the money, to lead everybody into that bottomless pit, basically, because we were fool enough to fall for it, and that should be pointed out at that point. That's the banker's intent.
Okay, and there was, I just had a request to announce a group here. Apparently they're a little abusive, so I'm just going to crack it open and have a look at it. That's the thing too. One of the things that you'll find early on, until you get to a certain point of the untouchability, you will definitely attract trolls and whatever. Trying to think. Oops, get rid of this. I'm in the conversation, so I'm going to have a look at this, Dom, and not saying you're not telling me straight up, but I like to get some background on things. I don't like just spewing stuff without actually looking at it. But I have taken note of your post. Thank you very much for that. It's busy. Oh, and I just wanted to say thanks to my goodness, my Facebook has lit up tonight like something else. Anyway, it's funny, I only posted the show in a couple of places because I really didn't have a whole lot of time to do it with the computer crashing and what have you. But
I put it a few places too.
Yeah, well, I'm sure. I'm saying, like, normally I go crazy and post everywhere, but it's well done. Obviously, you've made the biggest difference tonight, Cindy, because I sure as hell didn't. And Aaron, no problem. Information is always appreciated, but remember this, remember this, remember this. It has to resonate. Do not put anything on your canvas that is not yours or can be taken as yours, as your truth, because if you do, you're just buying into someone else's bullshit. And that's why Santo, Tony, myself, Cindy, and everyone that I've worked with will tell you the same thing. Don't take my word for it. Go and experience it for yourself. If it resonates, great. And if it doesn't, great. It's not for you. Or, I mean, the truths that we all discover, we all come across, and we know they are because they're epiphanies. They're not things that people tell us. They're these stillness moments that come into fruition in that beautiful twinkling of an eye, the twin cling of an eye. It's beautiful. Just my thoughts. There's that dead air thing again.
Yeah.
Yeah, jump in, guys.
I'm reaching for my mouse, and it was running away from me. I was trying to unmute myself.
I'd just like to mention, anybody that didn't hear the show that we did last night, we did an excellent show with Simon Parkes. Reference, Simon Parkes is an MP, and he's gone public with some incredible information. So if any of you guys missed that last night, you want to go back and check the archives, because that was an awesome show.
Can you just tell us a bit about that, Tony? I didn't hear any of that, please.
Yeah, certainly, Santos. We had a current MP, or councillor, should I say, probably better to put his words. Simon Parkes went public last night. He'd gone public before that, but he came on the show to explain of his interactions with off-world beings. And there's a lot of information with regards to this, but he warned people yesterday to be on the lookout for what everybody's termed really as a Project Bluebeam, or a false flag alien invasion scenario. So we basically put out a post to that effect today, just asking people to go back and listen to the show, because it was some fascinating information that Simon gave us yesterday. So I just wanted to mention that.
I got to say a great big thank you to Rory. What a great job on the poster. Oh my God, did I laugh when you sent that to me. Effectively what we're trying to say is the only card that they really have left for false flag is an alien invasion. So if you're wondering, one of the purposes of the chemtrails is the aluminum oxide, which of course hangs in the air and makes for a beautiful silver screen in which you can shoot movies onto, either from space, namely the International Space Station, with cameras put there. I think none other than James Cameron was involved in that, but also from Earthbound cameras to make it look like an alien invasion. They do have things built. There's technologies there that we have here that can be used to mimic and look like the real thing and what have you. But I assure you, it is anything that you see in terms of an alien invasion is man-made at this point. And guys, did you see Independence Day? Did you buy the bullshit that somehow an F-15 fighter can take out a super, yeah. Oh my God! I mean,
Right.
One of the other things he actually mentioned as well is if they were using any hardware as in craft, they were going to be the old style TR-3Bs. He didn't mention the TR-3B by name, maybe because he didn't know it, but he said the old nuts and bolts craft are going to be used, and they are old. Tesla was using technology like this. Anybody can go and look up John Leonard Wolson, and he's actually videoed absolutely incredibly huge craft that are out there in space mimicking the stars at the moment. And there's much more to this whole story, but I mean, I've laid out the basics in the book, so people who've downloaded the book will already know. But yeah, just something to be aware of, guys. And if you didn't catch the info, you could do a lot worse than go back and check out the archives from last night. It was awesome.
It was absolutely fascinating.
We have another caller here, if I can bring them in. Someone just showed up. I'm thinking that they probably have a question just because they just showed up. So, area code 774. First two numbers 23. 774-23. Your line, mic is hot. Do you have any questions or comments?
Yeah, hey, how's it going, everyone? This is fantastic.
Yeah, hey, how's it going with you? Glad you showed up finally. What kept you?
Yeah, no, I know it. It kept getting interrupted, but I guess when the time is right, the time is right. So I'm happy to be on board. It's fantastic. I'm a little nervous. If you haven't noticed, I kind of have these ambitions to do the same thing that you guys are doing, and I'm so inspired and just moved by how you guys carry yourself and how you bring this information so majestically and so beautifully to everyone. And it's been a real eye opener ever since I came across crossing over with 2012 with Santos, and there was a moment where it's funny where The Matrix, when I first saw that movie, it just really opened my eyes. I was like, this illusion, this world, it just made so much sense. So it's so funny that during that time, there was that awakening process, where you find yourself, you ask those questions, and I believe I have a purpose here to really spread this information myself in different capacities. And, well, it's funny just how I came to that awakening and understood who I truly was, and then I came to that matrix kind of illusion, and I understood it finally for what it really was. And I just got to say thank you guys, for everything that you're doing. It's just amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wow. Yeah, it's like, Santo, you take that one, buddy.
Well, you know what? I really appreciate that, caller, because that's great feedback, and that really does remind me that it's really worthwhile spending the time that I do with my presentations and on the air, because to hear that magnificent appreciation for what we're doing, because the caller, and I'm sure all the listeners, realize how precious this information is. This information is expanding our consciousness. We are rising above the fictions of this system. Kate just shared with us how we should rise above, being ruled by papers. They're little bits of papers, if we pay attention to them and give them life, will send us to jail. And we're paying endless amount of taxes to them because of their little bits of papers. So, this is real consciousness expanding stuff that will raise us above this, the cloud of illusion. Yeah, thanks for the great compliment, brother. Thank you.
Thank you, guys, and happy golden age. I mean, those 3 days, I've heard about it, and those 3 days of darkness, like I've heard things saying that we move into a void. We're kind of like moving through, the transition into, new density level or something. Is it like a moment where you have to be in the heart center? You have to, it just not be in fear, because that's going to bring you right down. So you want to be in that heart center. I mean, this is what I've come across anyways. I just wonder if you could touch base on that a little bit. And thank you guys. Wonderful show. I'm very much looking forward to hearing the rest and continuing to be a regular caller to this wonderful, absolutely amazing just podcast. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Wow.
Yeah,
thank you.
Great big cups of wow all around, guys. I will say this. This is what we need to hear, based on the fact that we've been standing so far outside the box for so long. I know it's just all we have to do is hold on, but I got to tell you, there are days that thread is so thin. And there's been a lot of those lately. So thank you very much for that. Much obliged.
Absolutely. I mean, just the dedication that you guys are putting through, to create these things for free for the public, because you understand that you're not bound by this material world. You understand that you're a limited potential, and you understand that you're a divine essence, and you're so just loving, and you want to help everyone else love themselves. And it's just, when you see people do the same routine over and over, you just smack yourself in the head, and you just hope that they'll come to it at some point. But I could go on, and I just really enjoy communicating with you guys. I mean, it's just amazing being a part of this, and thank you. I just can't say thank you enough. I really can't.
Again, the same thing back to you. Thank you for calling in, and thanks for letting us know how you feel. That's made my day. Cheers.
Absolutely, and we're not really hung up on the names thing, but if you were to call yourself something, if you call back in, what would that be?
Well, I've been, I chose my birth name, Jeremiah, which was a very significant name I found. And now I'm kind of evolving into something else. I guess I just came to it one day and it just felt right. And I guess it's a Maya Wishoa, and instrument of love and light. And that's who I am right now. That's who I'm representing, just love and light. and just information of who we really are, and just spreading that information anywhere, smiling at people, whatever I can to bring some kind of joy in someone's life.
Oh, yep, you said that perfectly. Hey, Cindy, I think your mic's hot there, because you just fumbling the keys. I know, because I'm watching the chat room.
Okay, yeah, they're all asking for us to go over time, and
we can go over time. The problem is it won't be on the air. We got another 11 minutes and 1 second left there, just when I looked at it, or 10 seconds rather. 11 minutes.
Hey guys. I'd like to answer that question and finish that off, because I've got some dates. Please grab a pen and paper, because you might want to put down these dates. Okay? You asked about our consciousness expanding and things like that. So just while we're on the air for another 10 minutes, I'll get this out.
I just put him on hold. I'll open his mic up again. So that if he has any questions while you're telling him, it's open.
Okay. Yep. So we've already done the 4th of January, perihelion. We've done the 1st of January, circumcision. The 6th is Epiphany. Now, when you go to Wikipedia, Epiphany, it says in brackets, feeling. In Greek, it comes from epiphania, which means manifestation or striking appearance. So the 6th of January, something is going to manifest strikingly. It's the Christ. It's the Christ consciousness. Because the Egyptians, they had 12 days. They waited 12 days after the 25th of December, and then they declared that the sun appeared. In other words, it had progressed enough degrees on the horizon that they could clearly say that the sun now has appeared to lengthen its rays. It's an appearance, epiphany. And that's why we have an epiphany when the lights are turned on, because a striking appearance or a manifestation has occurred. And so we call it an epiphany. So look out for the Epiphany Day, guys. The next one to look out for will be the 25th of January, Cindy's birthday, and that is the conversion of St. Paul. The conversion of St. Paul. So that's where a conversion happens, and someone's got their mic. Okay, you might want to mute that call.
Yeah, I will. I think that, yeah. Who, does anyone know who that was?
It was not me this time.
No, me, I was muted.
That's fine. So the 25th of December is the conversion of St. Paul. Of course, it's Aquarius territory, and Paul is none other than Saturn. Saturn rules Aquarius, but Saturn also rules Capricorn. So it's what we've got is Saturn in Aquarius is Apollo, and Saturn in Capricorn is Saul or Saturn or Satan. You see, so that's why he gets converted when he goes into Aquarius on the 25th of January, and he becomes Paul. So Saul becomes Paul. In other words, Saturn becomes Apollo. You see, you can't have Saturn ruling in two signs next to each other and they have the same archetypal character. They have to change. So Paul has to get converted, you see. So look out for that day. Look out for Ash Wednesday, 13th of February, the first day of Lent. That's which finishes on the 20th of March, the eve of the equinox. So Lent is perfect this year. It is perfect. It starts on the 13th of February, Ash Wednesday. It's 40 days that the Israelites will be in the wilderness, or that Jesus is tempted in the wilderness with no food, and then the devil comes to tempt him. You see, this is the 40 days of Lent. Because it's a period of temptation. It's a period of uncertainty. Is the son going to make it? Is that child that was born Is he going to be successful this year? Will we find him in the Lamb one day, crossed over, and we eat those hot cross buns at Easter to remind us that the Son has crossed over finally? And then, of course, on Nisan 17, every year the Son ascends, the resurrected Saviour. That's what Easter's all about, because the Son is resurrected now, and now the days are longer and the nights are shorter. And so this little story, this quadrant, these 90 days or these 90 degrees that remain till the Lamb of God, we've got some climbing to do. And consciousness is going to climb, and you're going to see it, you're going to feel it, you're going to be part of it. Don't let this occasion slip, because it's ours. And the light is here to support all of our deeds. Before, the light was not ready. The Christ did not return. The ethereal Son was not born yet. And we tried, we had a go, but we failed. We all tried when we were Bogomils 700 years ago. We all tried when we were Waldenses and Lollards and Collegians and Socinians and Cathars and Albigenses. But the light was not right. It was not the right age. It was Pisces. There was still doubt and belief. And water, murky, mutable waters of Pisces. Jesus as the ruler of Pisces too, which is Jupiter Zeus. So we've had the Church of Jesus, doubting and believing, being baptized in water for 2,000 years. We've tried to get out of it. We have failed. It wasn't really a true failure. There's no failure. There's no such thing as a failure. It's just these little, stitch marks in a quilt, and they all make the quilt. And what's happening is now the quilt is finished, and we have the light is there for us. It's ours for the taking. Freedom is here. We can do it. We've done it.
Can I just, one concept I want to share with people that may help bring this all together? When you understand, finally, that all the world is, the universe, indeed, is a stage. It is a stage. You are in a performance of the universe. This is what the word scriptures really means. Make the script yours, not theirs.
I'll second that.
Yeah.
Just like the signature. I don't give mine away. It's my signet, not yours. Signet yours? No, signet mine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and signing is sinning. Just take away the silent G and you will see it there before your eyes. This is the magic that they have spelled on us with their spell.
Yeah. They've been writing that script for too long with their spells. We've changed it. We've dispelled every letter, every number, every symbol for what it is. Everything is good and evil. It is up to you as to how you look at it, not anywhere else, not anyone else. The change comes only and will only ever come from within. So grab your canvas, clean it all off, decide that everything that you thought was real and what you were taught, get rid of it. Well, we got about 2.5 minutes left here. I'm just going to do a quick thank you to Freedom Reigns, Blog Talk Radio, for again giving us the voice that we can carry across to everyone. And I want to thank everyone that has tuned in, all the ones that have been tuned in for years with us, and those that are just new. Thank you for finally showing up. We love you. It's a big party. We want to make it bigger. So, hey, all the world's a stage. You are a star. You are God. Start acting like one, please.
Beautiful. Thanks, Kate. And that would be about the best summation ever. We are divine and we are embracing our divinity. And that's a choice that we make, and the light is with us now. There is no more room for darkness, and the darkness shall have to flee. So, friends, continue in your path of being enlightened. Shed the education and embrace the enlightenment, because it's coming. And look out, because the next 3 months are going to be real big opportunities for us to partake in this. Big opportunities. The world will change.
Already has. And here's the only thing I say to myself, and maybe you might want to take this on as my personal creed. I will stand to post. I will never yield. None shall pass. All I have to do is hold on, and I give you my word, and that is the most powerful of all. My creation will say this. I won't yield. If I have to carry this whole damn thing through myself, I will, to the death. No problem, no question. I don't believe anything anymore. I am in Aquarius. I know.
And we've already changed it.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of preset, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Of course we win, guys. It's a movie. Would you please start playing your role and have some fun with it, for crying out loud? And if you need a new pair of shoes, go out and get them. There's nothing I love more than a new pair of shoes. It's all good.
It's just a ride. Just sit back and have fun.
Yeah, choose love or fear. Remember, the yellow brick road is fear. Time to find the Emerald City. All right, we got 10 seconds left, guys. We're going to roll on past a little bit here for anyone that wants to download the episodes, so I'm sure there'll probably be a few more tidbits after we go off the air, so please feel free to download, which will be about 10 minutes after we're done. Anyway, we're now into recording mode, guys.
Okay. That was
Beautiful.
excellent. The chat room is full, and they loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Excellent.
Yeah, the truth has that effect, and I know you guys are seeing it in the same way. I got to tell you, holding my position here is not easy, but I will not yield. Whatever has been present has been present, and I just go with it and follow my white rabbits. I will be working on an essay tomorrow for reading tomorrow night. It will be my year-end summation, and what a year it's been. I've been hell and back, and all the more wiser and more loving for it. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Santa, I have a question. I had posted in the Kemet School of Ancient Mysticism, and I had a few. Let me get to it real quick. People that were mentioning talking about the 6th, and okay, so is the moon's going to be in the 7th house, correct? And Jupiter and Mars will be aligned?
Yeah, my rough, just to let Santo know, my rough calculations were that the moon, based on where it was, would be 5th, 6th, or 7th in and around Libra. And based on where it is right now, it looks like it's going to fall right on that. And again, when you're dealing with the non-heliocentrical aspect, the flat plane, again, perspective from Earth is one of Earth, right?
Yeah.
So when you go 3-dimensional on it, actually 4th dimensional, the alignments depends on what's aligning with what. But anyway, yeah, your thoughts on it. That was just my feeling, my intuition on it.
Well, first of all, the moon to be in the 7th house, I mean, that's only a two-hour window. So it's not really telling you much. It depends on what they mean by the 7th house. Are they talking about the 7th sign being the 7th house? Because
this is in reference to the 5th dimension song, Aquarius, Let the Sun Shine In. And the lyrics go, when the moon is in the 7th house and Jupiter aligns with Mars, then peace will guide the planet and love will steer the stars. And it just seems to me, after hearing what Kate said and what you've said about the 6th of January, it just seems to me like that's what the song's been talking about all these years, since 1969.
Well, one would need to check. They're probably using the term house here in reference to sign, which would be Libra, the 7th sign, Yeah.
The balance,
so, yeah. But because otherwise it would just be a 2-hour window, because houses have to do with the 24-hour wheel, and signs have to do with the yearly wheel, you see. And this is what people need to understand about astrology if they want to understand what the houses are. People think that houses are the same as signs. Well, they're not. And so the houses, the first house is always at the ascendant when you were born. That's the first house. So, and that changes, and the sign that's going through that, the ascendant, is changing every 2 hours. So it's talking about the daily cycle, the houses, you see. And so for the moon to be in the 7th house, here the song would be actually referring to a 2-hour window slot in the day, which is highly unlikely. So it must be referring to Libra.
Well, again, it's just it's a song. I won't say just a song. It's a song, and one of the things from a songwriter perspective is you try to fulfill as many concepts as you can within as few words as possible, and that's why it resonated with me, and that they were talking about the seventh house, or Libra. And what resonated with me is the fact that I'm a dragon, and dragon falls in the house of Libra, and I know based on what I've present myself and what I'm starting to really see now, unfolding before me as a present, all things fall into place perfectly, as divine plan was always meant to be, perfect. There are no mistakes, and that's one of the reasons why this time jumping stuff that they've been doing for so long is in complete defiance of divine plan and divine guidance and divine law. It's an aberration of wrecking a perfectly good script and creator in its purest essence, and that's what we are. We'll sort that out, and no more. Done. Anybody?
Yes. I was in the middle of typing and I had to finish and unmute, but yes.
No worries.
I've been listening to that song. As a matter of fact, that song, I have no idea how this happened. I don't have an iPod. I just have a little, it doesn't hold very much, it doesn't have much space, and the battery doesn't stay charged very long, but when I go on my hikes, I like to take it with me, and somehow this song appeared on my MP3 player, and it happened to play across the playlist when I was up on top of the mountain sun gazing, watching the sun go down over the Pacific Ocean down at Point Mugu. And it just, when I heard the lyrics, I'd never heard it before, and when I heard the lyrics and then realized, wait a minute, this wasn't here before, where'd it come from, how'd it get here? And this was last summer, and I was just fixing to fully awaken to my true self, and so this song really means a lot to me and resonates with me. And when Santo came out with this information about the 6th, and you said your comments about Jupiter and Mars being aligned, I just like, wow, that song.
Yeah, it hit me the same way. It really did. Hey guys, I'll tell you what. Why don't we wrap this up so that people can grab the episode? I know they're waiting for it. And then maybe we'll just do a quick call back afterwards, and I will. I'll just end the episode here. That way people can get it. Sound good to you?
Sounds great.
All right. Well, I will say thank you to everyone that tuned in tonight and has grabbed this episode. Because you're hearing this, I know you did. Anyway, much love to you guys. Don't forget you can get a hold of all of us very easily at www.synchronicity.com. And just all you got to do is Google our names, for crying out loud. You'll find us anywhere. And we are available to all. That's kind of our purpose and our role. At least that's mine. I will speak for me for sure, but I kind of have a feeling that you guys feel the same way. So. Just a bit, yeah. All right, so much love to everyone that tuned in tonight, and don't forget, tune in tomorrow night from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to another. I think tomorrow night we'll call it Cosmic Blueprints of Outside the Box Synchronicity. Does that work?
Ooh, nice.
We'll bring it all together. We'll pull it all in. Okay, guys. So I'll end the episode now, and we'll catch up on a call right after. Love you all.
Love and hugs, everybody.
Cheers.